Kody finally admitted that his marriage with Meri on Sister Wives is completely dissolved. He said basically meaning there is no romantic connection whatsoever, and technically they are not even really in a relationship. And oh my god, you guys, we gotta also hear from Meri, and the sad, crazy, unbelievable thing is, for some reason, it sounds like she still wants a relationship with this moron idiot, Kody. Guys, y'all know the drill. Sister Wives was on a couple days ago. This show is just like a freaking broken record, but the one thing that happened, the literal only thing that happened that got my attention was the fact that Kody and Meri finally kind of touched on this whole Catfish situation. And if you guys don't know, it happened 4, 5-ish, 6-ish years ago. Meri was talking to another man. That was the deal. She met a man online, so she thought, and she ended up kind of telling Kody because she was not happy with the relationship, she didn't want him coming over anymore. And I believe that was when she was kind of also talking to this person online. Then one thing like another, and she found out that she was actually being catfished, and she told the family, and Kody was freaking betrayed and upset and really hurt. Now, I never, ever, ever, ever condone cheating. Don't think it's a good thing. Never had, never will. I will say one thing, though. Kody basically has been cheating on Meri this entire time. Now, I know it's a sister-wife kind of a thing, but the truth is, he never gives her any attention. He hasn't in a long time. And so even before that kind of catfish situation, I feel like he still wasn't giving her a ton of attention. And I kind of think, honestly, it's because Meri is so freaking independent on her own. She's strong and normal and can think for herself. And it's like the other wives, nothing against them, but they really cannot think for themselves. So anyway, you know, they've had that big issue. Once Kody found out that Meri was kind of going behind his back, he got upset. And then after that point, after Meri kind of said, well, don't come over anymore, I guess Meri said that that was kind of like a temporary gesture. It was a temporary thing, like, hey, you know, for the time being, don't come around anymore, that kind of a thing. But Kody took it like that's a permanent thing. And for me, that was 5 years ago. Okay, technically you guys are supposed to be married, so it's like, what do you plan on? You know, so you can't just stay in this awkward standstill forever. And finally, it is getting brought up. And if you're wondering, well, what is going through Kody's head? Basically, here is the deal. Kody pretty much said that yes, they have not had a real, true romantic relationship in about 5 years. Kody admitted that that was kind of the whole catfishing thing was on his back. It wasn't making him happy. He was kind of weighing on his shoulders, if you know what I mean. And so he said that finally, during this quarantine, really especially, he really kind of was able to let go and move on with his life, supposedly. But here's the deal. They're still not communicating. Kody and Meri never talk. They never, ever, ever hang out unless Meri reaches out to him. And at the end of the last episode, Kody did end up saying that he, I guess, would get back together with Meri if she courts him, and basically, if she approaches him. So Kody is standing here saying, I do not want to, you know, reach out to you, but if you reach out to me, we can make it work. But he's also standing there saying, I'm not going to technically divorce you. So he's just like, you can sit here and be miserable unless you want to come to me. But he's kind of, in my eyes, saying, you can either come to me or you can get a divorce. He's not willing to do either, and it's not fair for Meri. Meri needs to fend for herself. And it's like, at this point, Meri, girl, you gotta pack your bags and run. Now, I don't know what she's going to do, but the sad thing is this. Clearly, like I just explained, Kody is not willing to do either. He's not willing to go to her, and he's not willing to get a divorce. Like, he's not willing to separate. Just kind of, all he's like is you can just kind of stay there, do your own thing, and that is that. But he's not willing to reach out and try to make it work whatsoever to her. Meri's doing all the reaching out, but the sad thing is, Meri is kind of in an opposite situation because, believe it or not, I feel like deep down she does want a relationship with him. Now, I don't know if that's because they have a kid together or probably because they've had this long history too, but it's like she wants a relationship with him. Now, you can say what you want, but if she didn't, she probably would have left him by now. And it's like she is still sitting here, and we did get to see in the upcoming episode that she is like going to try and court him, and she brings him on like a date, and it's like, why can't he do that? But she brings him on a date and all this stuff, so she's legitimately trying to like make it work with the crazy idiot Kody Brown. And I think it's going to be an utter failure for her, but that's neither here nor there. So we have, I don't even know, I got off a total tangent, but basically, after that stuff went down, after Kody and Meri talked about the catfish situation briefly, that is when Kody said that his marriage with Meri is dissolved. It is done. There's no romantic connection, and that is that. And if they want to respark it, she has to come to him. That is what I was trying to say this whole entire time. So that happened, which that kind of broke my heart, because it looked like Meri really kind of doesn't like the guy for some crazy reason. And I can just tell you all one thing, Kody does not seem to like her. So that's kind of sad. Boo-hoo. But before that happened, we got to see Mariah, Meri's daughter, and her lady, her fiance, Audrey, I think, come, and they're staying with Meri. Because Mariah was living in Chicago with her fiance, and so they wanted to get out of the big city. They did not want to be in a big city during a pandemic. I get it. So they wanted to come, and they were staying with Meri. But because I hate to finger point and say someone isn't high risk. Technically, I'm high risk because I have asthma and I'm a diabetic. So I don't want to finger point, but Kody, for some reason, everyone is trying to like shield this guy. And I think their reasoning is because he's kind of traveling, but really, he's not traveling. He's going to Robin's and he's going to Christine's. He's not seeing Meri or Janelle for the most part. So they're trying to kind of shield him. My whole point is, Mariah came back from Chicago with her fiance, and they had to quarantine for 14 days until Kody was willing to go see them. Here's kind of the dumb thing, though. It's like, if you really care about your kids this much, you haven't seen, I mean, I guess he did see them kind of recently, but still, it's like, wouldn't you want to go see them? Go through a window, say hi, drive by, do something to say hi. But he insisted, I'm going to wait 14 days. That's fine. He ended up doing an interview saying he's so excited to go see Mariah. It's been 14 days. He drives over to Meri's house, and guess what? Mariah and her fiance are gone. You're probably wondering, where are they during the middle of a freaking pandemic? And that is, Meri owns a bed and breakfast. And that is where I was kind of talking about earlier, how Meri, she does her own thing. She owns businesses. And that's why I feel like Kody, it kind of just makes him upset because he needs to be the head honcho kind of a guy. But she owns a bed and breakfast. Her mom runs it, obviously. Her mom is old. She's like 75, 80 years old. She should not be around people in the middle of a pandemic. So Meri was like, look, we can have Mariah and her fiance go run the bed and breakfast, which let me just say too, who's staying at a bed and breakfast in last March and April? Maybe, but there's just no way anyone was leaving their house during that time. So I'm sure they weren't getting much business, but that was their idea. So Mariah ended up going to the bed and breakfast, and the mom came down to Meri's. And once again, because like I said earlier, no one communicates with Meri, so that all happened. The daughter went up there with the fiance, the mom came down here, and Kody had absolutely no idea. So Kody, he was all jolly and happy to go see his daughter, and then he gets there and they're gone. So he was upset, and that's how the whole situation of the catfish. Now, they don't communicate and they don't ever talk, and Kody felt left out. But it's like, you know what, Kody, you don't reach out to her. So I honestly don't feel bad whatsoever for that guy. I think he is a freaking clown, and that is basically that. So that was the whole situation with them. They got together. I think it's going to be a complete disaster for Meri. It is pretty freaking embarrassing, honestly, to rewatch it, and I wish her the best, and I think Kody is a complete clown. But besides that, Kody was mad about that. Kody is still quarantining. Kody is still not seeing Janelle. Janelle is starting to kind of freak out, and I think eventually she's going to cave and just say, you know what, Kody, you can come stay with us. Because right now, Janelle's two boys, they're out and about. They're doing whatever they want. They are not social distancing for the most part. And so she does not want them to get sick and then pass it to Kody. I get it. I truly do. I don't want anyone to get sick, but I'm still sitting here thinking, okay, Janelle, your life is just as important, if not, it's just as equally important as Kody's. So is Robin's. So is Meri's. So is Christine's. So is everyone else's. So why are they shielding Kody? I just don't understand. Why is he this golden goose that they're like protecting? It literally makes no sense. So Janelle is starting to kind of get frustrated. Same thing. Broken record. Nothing new there. She's still quarantining. She's not going around Kody, and she's starting to kind of get mad because she thought this whole pandemic was going to last like a week, and now it's been like a month. So she's starting to kind of freak out. Christine, she's kind of in the same boat too. Now, Christine is actually seeing Kody, but because of the whole social distancing Kody thing, they are not going around other families. And when I mean other, I basically just mean Robin's. Robin has all these kids, and Christine and her kids were gonna go see Robin and her kids. However, they could. Now, they did from outside, which, I mean, I don't even know or even care. But at this point, it's like, okay, the family that doesn't want a social distance is Janelle's. So I don't understand for the life of me why, because Robin is taking this very seriously. So is Christine. Why can't those two families technically social distance together and quarantine quarantine together and problem solved. But truly, you know, Christine's daughter, she was like super upset. She wanted to do this and she wanted to do that, and she was hysterical and she was sad and she was mad. And like Solomon, I think Kody's other kid, a little kid, he was like freaking really upset. I feel bad for the guy, I truly do, but you know, I'm sure Kody Brown isn't going to help much with that because he's just freaking drama. So, long story short, that was about it with the sister wives. It is like a broken record watching these two. When I mean two, I literally just mean Kody and Meri, because I don't give a crap about Robin, Christine, or Janelle. You can call me rude, but I don't even really care, because those three are like a literal broken record. Now, I'm like a broken record because I do not stop saying broken record, but that is the truth. Meri and Kody, the only reason I'm still watching this show, this season, because I'm just so curious, what happens with those two? Did they try to make their relationship work? Now, I know that they do end up going on a date, and she kind of tries to come on to Kody, but of course, Kody, he's kind of standoffish, and he just kept making weird comments. Like, I think she asked him, like, you know, can I, like, you know, hold your hand or something? And Kody was like, well, people that are in love do that. And he goes, we're not in love. So he keeps making weird, rude, backhanded comments like that, and I think Meri, her feelings start to get hurt. So I don't know how much longer she's going to stick around with it. She posted a picture a few months ago with Kody, kind of actually defending him. So I don't know if they're going to try to make it work. I don't know if she's just going to sit there in the background while Kody does his thing with Christine and Robin and kind of Janelle. I don't really know what to expect, but oh my God, you guys, it is not looking good. Well, sister wives, oh, so much drama. I would love to have Kody on this channel. I would love to have Meri on this channel. Now that would be fun. Well, guys, thank you all so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please hit that like button, hit the comments below, and y'all better stay tuned for many more videos.